asking what is template, what is welting, how do I use it. So now, for example, when you receive the email, which is going to be a PDF file, whether it's a PDF file, whether it's a JPEG file, I need you to know that the first thing you want to do is to first of all download it on your phone. Then you go ahead and then print it out. You go ahead and print it out, and when you are printing, make sure that it is you have it set, at actual size setting, as in 100%. Let it be 100% on an A4 sheet, you understand, so that it will not reduce the size of your template. Because if you did not print at that particular setting, it reduces the length, it reduces the width as well. So please, I need you to really take note of this. So we have, you can see here, we have 4 to 5, we have double insole here, double insole, which is 44. We have another double insole, which is 45. What do we mean by double insole? Now let me show you what it means. Now, for example, this is actually two different soles. This is a full sole and this is a full sole. So when you have this kind of design where I'm coming, where you are going to be, please give me, okay, I've seen it, where you have a smaller one such as this. Now the smaller one too is part of the design. Now I'm actually using the women's sole template as an example for you. Is the same thing that we have in the, what did they call it? Is this applicable to, what is applicable to the women's sole template is also applicable to the men's sole template as well. So you don't have anything to worry about. I'm just using this to explain to us. So this one also is part of it, which is the smaller one. I'm still going to show us. So when I have something like, you have a design, you have something like this, and you are having a smaller one, that's what I mean by double. So you have a smaller one on top of it like this. I'm sure you have seen such design before, where you have it on top of this, and then you position it this way. When you position it like this, of course using your gum, you place it on top of it this way. Please help me to sandpaper this office. So you sandpaper, that's I think the first thing you want to do, let me show them some. The first thing you want to do is first of all try to align the appropriate place to position it. Let me trim this one and use sandpaper it. When you place it this way, let's say you are placing this way, let me use this part. Now this is EVA foam, it's called Mako here in Nigeria, and this is 4mm. You can decide to make the smaller one 2mm or 3mm. It's your choice, whatever you want it to be. The wide one too is your choice, the thickness you want to use as well. So when I'm placing it right here, make sure that all around they are actually same. I mean, when I mean the same, I mean they are equidistant when you are placing it. They are equidistant. Now let me bring out the size 39. Now this is the main, so that you can see what I'm talking about. So when you place it, you want to ensure that they are equidistant. That's the first thing you want to ensure, so that by the time you place your, what did they call it, leather on top of it, because at the end of the day we are going to place leather on top of this, and it's going to represent our insole. So it will be like this, and it will be the insole. That is majorly what I mean by double sole. So when you hear me say double sole, that is what I mean. Now when we talk about welting, the one we are going to welt, that is another thing entirely. When you are welting, the distance will not be as wide as this. That's why we have 3 for each piece. So when you want to do this kind of a double sole, that is actually 2. It means you are going to make use of now the double sole, this is the small one. That's what it means. When I write double sole like this, I mean this smaller one. That is what it represents. Now double sole for 44, that's what I mean. Now I want you to look at this one. This one is size 44. Now this 44 is the full sole for 44. That is size 44 sole. You understand? So when you want to create a footwear and all you need is just a sole template, this is size 44. So anytime you now decide that, oh, this is my size 44, I want to add a double sole, I want to put a smaller one inside, all you need to do is you are going to trim this particular, double sole, trim this smaller one off, then you place it right on top of it. So let me trim that off for you to see what I'm talking about. So you can just cut on the line. If you cannot cut on the outline, please cut outside so that it will not be too small and it will not deform the O shape. So it's also just a technique when it comes to creating an insole. I'm the one that turned it to double insole. So it's a technique of creating an insole. So with this, I'm going to place it on my 44. Can you see what it looks like? Can you see a lot of space all around it? That is how the double sole look like. It's not the same thing as welting. It's not the same thing. So this is going to represent your inner sole. Now what you're going to do is, what I would suggest you do is, when you want to create this kind of design for men or for women, because of course the template is also available now for women as well. If you want to create this either for men or women, what you do is you are going to also trim this one out. Let me trim that out just like I trim the other one out. Now while you are trying to trim this, I just say let me show you, and you look at this one now, you can find that you see that this side is not really showing well. You can pick up any other one that is properly, that this side is okay, and use it to shape it out. So I'm going to be using this to shape this part out. So I'm going to use it to shape it out and do the same thing at this point too. So you can see what we have. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to just trim it out like I said earlier. Alright, so this is our main sole, which is a sole template. Anytime you want to cut sole, you can use this. Now, anytime you decide that, okay, this time around I want to do the double sole, you pick up this one, which is for the double sole. You use it you cut this out. You can use EVA foam to cut this out, which is also called Mako here in Nigeria. Just place it. It depends on the thickness you want. It depends on what you want. You can see the way it perfectly aligns. So when you do this, you are going to go ahead and then place your leather on top of this like this, and that is what's going to represent your inner sole. So this, with this particular one now, you can now place it on whatever sole material, whether it's Nora, which is a rubber sheet, whether it's veg tan, that is leather sole, whatever kind of sole sheet you want to use, you can actually go ahead and then place this one on top of it and use it to cut it out. I will not advise that you use this same one to cut it, especially if you are a beginner, because you may end up cutting out what will be smaller than what you cut initially. So the best bet for you as a beginner is to use this same one. You have already cut the inner sole out, you have cut it out, you have cut the Mako out. What you will just do is make sure that it's that same Mako that you're going to place on your sole sheet material and then cut out. That will help you a lot, because at the end of the day, the sole will be a little bit wider, which will make it easy for you to bottom this when you want to do your final bottoming or cementing, as the case may be. You can place it easily, and the excess is what you are just going to use your grinding machine to finish all of the edges. I need you to know that this particular sole template is all right. Let's quickly look at how double sole looks like. Like I said, this is available for men and women, you understand? So, and you can start to use it. Even if when you want to create platform soles, there are some platform soles that are actually trending now, that of course it will be like 10mm EVA foam. They can double it, then welt it, you understand, before they wrap all around. This is very perfect for you. You don't have anything to worry about. Just go ahead and use this, and all you need to do is to use the welting one, wrap this one. By the time you wrap this one, and then it will perfectly fit into this after welting. Yeah, it will perfectly fit into it. So I hope that's fine. And if you want to follow the process of creating this first, because when you want to welt, it's always important to first of all create your insole. I bet you it's always the best. Create your insole first, then you place your material, your insole on top of the material you want to use as your outer sole. Then welt it all around it and trim it out. That's the best way to create a welting design. Welting is just like an embellishment. You're just using it to add texture and beauty or embellishment to your design. Now, what I'm going to suggest for the women's sew template is this. If you are welting the women's sew template that I am having, I'm not talking about others, I am going to suggest that if, like, now this is our sew template for women size 39. This is the main full sew template. If you want to welt this, I am going to suggest that you should not reduce this. Now, the sew template for these two, I will have actually created a welting, like I created 3-in-1 for this, but I felt it's not really necessary, although I'm still contemplating whether to add it or not. I mean, the welting one. This one, the women's sew template also have, the double sole. It has the double sole, but I'm still contemplating on the welting. And the reason is, by the time I reduce this, let me show us something. Because it's not like I have not prepared it. I have, but I just wanted to, I don't want us to have something that is too small for what we want to do. And I don't want it to be too tiny as well. So this is 39. Okay, now this is what I have for the double sew. Okay, this is what I have for the double sew style. You can see what I have for the double sew style. So that is that. Now let me quickly show us the double sew. You can see what it looks like. You see that I've already positioned it. So what we will do now is just to trim out. We are going to trim these ones out. And then place our leather on top of it. So can you see what it looks like? Can you see what this looks like? So the next thing is to place our leather on it. So I was talking about this welting. I was talking about welting this. Now, if you want to say you want to welt this, it might be very tiny what you are going to end up having inside it. Now, let me bring this out. Now, this is the welting, the insole for the welting. Now, you can see, how small it is. Now, you'll find out that the one you are wrapping is quite tiny. If the person you are working for, the what do they call it, your customer's feet is not wide, you can use this. You can use the one that comes with it, the one for welting that comes with the women's sew template, if your customer's feet is not wide. But if they have a wide feet, my suggestion is, if your customer is wearing size 39, please pick up the sew template for size 38 and welt it to create for size 39. This is what I mean. This is the original sew template for size 38. As you can see, this is the original sew template. Just pick it up. Use it to cut out your EVA foam. Wrap it. You understand? Your EVA foam, if you are using insole cardboard as well, put them together and just wrap it. When you finish, then welt it all around. It will give you the size 39. You understand? If your customer is wearing size 39 and the customer has a wide feet. Because if you use this smaller one, it's majorly for people who do not have a very wide feet. Our welt is really, really very small. and it will, you know, at the end of the day, it will make it really look very small. But it depends on the kind of design you're creating. But it depends on the kind of design you're creating. You can also use this one, but you can also decide to use the smaller size for the next one, especially when you want to welt the design. I hope you understand. This is just applicable to the women's sole pattern template. That's the only one it's applicable to. So you can see if I want to create a welted design for somebody wearing 40, I will carry this 39 and wrap it, then welt it all around. It will be for my size 40. Please, I'm making reference to the templates I am selling to us, and not every other sole template you see, please, because I don't know what they did there. Since I know what is here, that's why I'm giving you that reference point. And if you so desire, you can also use the welting, you know, template that comes with it. So this one too, like I said, I'm contemplating whether it will come in 3 or it will come in 2. But nevertheless, for the sake of those who will love to actually, you know, people who do not have a wide fit, I can still leave this as part of the template. I believe that with this one now, okay, let me see what they finally look like. So this is this particular one. Now, for this particular, I was talking about this initially. Please give me the scissors. I was saying that you can actually use a higher size, a lower size, you know, to get a higher length for your welting process. It will work. I know somebody is already thinking, will it not be too long? Will it not be too long? Don't worry. When you want to cut out your sole template, make sure you cut inside the line of your printing, or by the time you have placed it on your cardboard, because when you print it out, don't use it like that. So please make sure you place it on a thicker cardboard so that it can be used. Don't forget actual size setting. Actual size setting is very important. And another thing I think I want to let you know is that if you are actually going to be printing in a business center, now in case they print and you find out that this is not size 45 now, it's smaller than size 49, or don't allow them to even print, I will suggest that you tell them to please take it to Corel Draw for you. Ask them to take it to, ask them if they have Corel Draw. If they don't have, please get to another, you know, business center, or you know, where they where they have that software, Corel Draw. So they will take or they will just what do they call it? What am I saying? They will transfer it to Corel Draw, your PDF file. They will transfer it to Corel Draw, or export it. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. That's the correct English. Export it into Corel Draw and tell them to shape it into an A4 paper for you. With that, it will come out accurately. I am saying this emphatically because I don't want us to say, oh, the size 40, I use it for my customer, it was too small. It will be small if you do not follow this particular process. You understand what I'm trying to say? So please, I need you to follow this process. Ensure it's important that you let them know that, please, so when you want to print for me, can you help me to take it? Do you have Corel Draw? They say yes. Okay, please help me to export it to Corel Draw, the PDF, and help me to please let it be, you know, exact A4 size on a Corel Draw. So when they print it out, it will be perfectly okay. I hope you understand that. So you can see what we have here. This is the double sew. Now this is size 38. I'm going to be wrapping it and I'm going to be welting it. I'm going to be showing us the welting process for the sake of those who do not know what welting is all about and how beautiful it can be when you actually welt your ends. So just stay with me. I'm still your shoemaking made easy tutor, Udrole Mojibola. I'm gonna be right away. So for the welting, the first thing you want to do is to first of all wrap, which is what I'm doing now. I want to wrap it. I've already cut out my leather, and this is my EVA foam. I told you that I'm going to be using a smaller size, you know, for the next one. So if it is 40, I want to create, I'll pick 39. This is 38, I want to create 39. Welting. Please, I'm shouting, is applicable to this template though. Before you say, oh, I had it from Jibbyfemforte, that you can use the next one. If you use the next one and it's not sizing your customer, me, I can laugh. I will laugh very well. So you can see what we have right here. So I'm still going to apply gum all around and then show you how I'm going to go ahead and fold it. So while we wait for our welting process for us to wrap it, this is the double sew. I've applied my contact cement adhesive. Don't forget that you first of all place this, make sure it aligns properly, so that you have equidistance all around it. After you have done that, you now go ahead and apply gum on this particular surface and also apply on the leather. I'm using this beautiful champagne gold leather. Is it champagne? Well, whatever you call it, that is what it is. So you can see what I have here. So I'm going to turn it over and begin to do the magic. So ensure that now personally I love to always use what did they call it, a kind of the smaller one. I love it when it's not as thick as the bigger one, as the wide one. But for the purpose of this, I just want us to see what this look like. I love to use a lighter, one. Like this one is 4. I love to use this one as 3 or 2. But of course, it may not be very obvious that there is anything in there, but it will still be there. You see the way I'm trying to use this to. Don't forget to make sure that your gum is all around, by the side and everywhere. And be careful so that you don't, you see the way I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't have like a pleat. Just do it with care. It will not have pleats. So this is what I mean by double sew. This one is going to serve as your inner sew now. So when you want to punch, you punch, close to this side, you understand? So it's always very beautiful and cute. So I'm just going to trim all around. It's just that for this particular design, of course, you need your grinding machine to help you to finish the whole process. So you can see what I'm going to be having. Don't forget, this is for female. If you want it to be wider than this, of course, you can decide to just make use of your, like just the other one, like the other process, with the wrapping, with the welting. You can do the same thing. Use the smaller one. And decide to actually use it to create for the next one, so that at least the smaller one will be inside, and but it's not likely, it will not work for this particular one. It will not work. So be careful with the way you position. It's very important. And when you are cutting this one, cut inside the line. When I mean inside the line, when you print this way, cut inside, don't cut outside. You understand? When you want to create this double, if you cut outside, it's going to end up affecting this side. You can see what this one look like. It's going to affect it. So please be careful. And when you are even positioning it, make sure that it's one side is not wider than the other. You really, really need to be very careful. So please don't forget, cut inside. And when you want to cut the wider one, cut outside, like cut it outside this line. These are actually very important so that you can get a very perfect look for your design. So let's quickly go through this. You see this? You can see me pulling it and doing it one after the other. Don't be in a hurry to fold, and at the end of the day you find out that it's not looking okay. It will help that corner to fold. And always press this side so that at least it will stay firm on it. So also these ones, cuff it in like that. So let's also, when you want to do this, make sure that your leather is not too thick, or else so I give you a lot of work. I pull. I don't just place it. I pick it a little at a time, and I pull. So this is what I'm going to be having. So this is what it's going to look like. Now, the welting process. Now, the welting process, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my sew sheet, and I'm going to place this on my sew sheet. Now, let's assume that this board is my sew sheet. Of course, you make sure you place it in a position where it will not waste. You don't put it at the center. You can put it by the side, towards the edge, so that it will be well arranged. And I'm going to go ahead and my goodness, God, I'm even loving what I'm saying. You don't know what it means when you have what you need, and can you see what I'm doing, man? That's the way we normally do. Are you looking at me? Are you seeing it? Can you see what is already looking like here? Can you see what is looking like already? Can you see the width? That is fair enough. So let me get the sew sheet so that it can just show us, and we can actually round off this class. So for the welting, I'm going to be using this particular, sheet. It's actually a sew sheet. They call it Kanu Nora here in Nigeria. It's called Kanu Nora. You can use a Nora sheet. You can use a leather sew. So it's not limited to a particular kind of sew when it comes to welting. So I'm going to just place like this. And then I just want to demarcate where exactly I'm going to be placing this. So this other one is going to come this way. I'll make sure there's enough space between them so that it can cover up for the welting of the two of them. You can also check. Now look at this one. With the welting, this side it will be enough. Will it be enough? It will be enough. Then this one, will it be enough? It will also be enough. This part will it be enough? It's also going to be enough, and also all of this. So by the time you check and you have confirmed that it will be okay, you can go ahead and also draw this part. So you have, this is what we are going to be having. So now what you are going to do is, you can use your sandpaper, of course, all around it. I'm using a very rough one. You're also going to do the same thing to your welt. Roughen your welt as well. So you are going to apply the gum all around it. After you have done the, roughening, you have roughened all the edges. Apply it all around it. Apply it on your welt too. You can see I've applied on my welt. So when it's dry. Now this one, don't forget, the reason why we outline it initially is for us to be able to know where to place it. So make sure you can still see it. Open your eyes so that you can still see. So this one, I'm going to just try to use it to hold it down there. Hold it down so that it can be easy for me to welt. So, please always start from the inner part. I think it's not good enough for them to be seeing the joining of your welt outside. So start from the inner part. Okay, this is not staying. So that it will not go and spoil what we want to do, just put a little glue here too. I don't want it to really stain it. So that one will help me to hold it down there, and it will not shift. I'm sure you saw that. So let's go with this one. make sure it's very close to it too. Let it be very close. Can you see this? Can you see it? Make sure it's close, close, very close to it. Make sure it's very close. Please give me hammer. So when you get to this, to finish it, we are going to use utility knife. Please give me utility knife. So use your utility knife. You have to be very careful so that you don't. Now you can press it up like this and put it in together so that it will close, perfectly well. So I'm going to use my hammer too. Please give me the other one. This one. Okay. So I'm going to use this one. I don't want to have you can use your utility knife to trim it off, and you can also use this one. I have to be very careful with this one here so that I will not over reduce the other one. Don't forget the other one is still going to be here. So with that, I can just use my utility knife as well. Just follow it smoothly. So use your grinding machine to finish all of the edges. Of course, you are still going to add your top heel, except you want it to look like this. Now, this is what we call welting. So any kind of design you intend to place on this, of course, you can place it on it. You have to open this carefully or else, because this make sure you don't put too much. Don't put too much there so that it will not spoil the insole for you. You can see what we have, and you can see what the inner part looks like. So this is the one you are going to use to last. You last your upper here, then you return it into this particular one systematically, and this is what you're going to have. So this is welting. This is the double sew. So you can see what we have right here. So those are the two different designs that we have. And then the last one is just the sole itself. The main sole itself. You can cut the main sole out, file all of the edges, then create like a kind of design like this on it. If that's what you want, you can do that. So by the time you cut out your main sole, place it on your EVA foam and use it to create this. You understand? So this one will just be what you have on it. Okay, it's the wrong leg. So with this, I'm sure you now understand how you can use the templates you have. And I want you to know that now, look at what we have here. You can use this to create a platform sole. I was talking about platform sole the other time. Now you can see that I've welt this one. If I was creating a platform sole, I'm not going to be using this kind of textured, Kanu Nora. This is what we call it here in Nigeria. I'm going to be using this kind of rubber sheet. I'm going to be using EVA foam that the two surfaces are smooth. You understand it? In the inner part and the outer part are smooth. So I'm just going to stack it. I can stack as many as possible. Probably if I'm using 10mm EVA foam, I can stack like 2. You understand? Welt it just this way. What you do is use the original sole template. This is the original sole template. You can use this one. You understand? If you're working with 40, use this one. Except you want it to be wider than this. If you want it to be wider than this, you can actually make it wider by increasing the width all around. Maybe like 0.25 centimeter. I think that should be fair, or else it will be too wide. You understand? For those men design, you don't even have to increase anything. You can use it like that. That one does not need increments, because that their own sole is already wide. But for this one, you might have to increase it if you want to create platform soles. Or better still, just wrap this one like I thought, just as this one is. That's the way you should use it. You may not do anything, just use it like this. Now this is going to be for my size 39, because this is 38 that I wrap. This is for my 39. Use it this way. Don't do any other thing. Just do it this way. Wrap your 38 for 39 platform sole, then stack, then finish all of the edges. If you don't know what I mean by platform sole, you can see what I have on the screen. Just that's what it looks like. You stack it and then wrap it. By the time you finish wrapping, you insert this, and you are so good to go. So thank you for trusting Jibbyfemforte. Thank you for ordering our pattern template. If you have not ordered, go ahead and order. Like I said, of course, it's no more $1. No, it's no more $1. No, it's not. So if you're interested, go to the comment section, use the link right there to actually make your order, and it will be sent to your email. Just follow the process and you'll be able to make good use of it. I'm going to see you next time. Bye.